I'm just glad that Chaotic Link that you through the years have not gotten a face tattoo. I'm pretty happy about that.
Now my whole grill's good, man.
There you
You
go.
know. Now
Nice.
I'm still pretty.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Top Fives with Don Sill. I'm your host Don Sill, and we got another great top fives in store for you today. This is the top 5 greatest white rappers of all time. Now, is it rappers who are white or is it white rappers? I'm not quite sure the difference, but there is a difference, folks. You know, back in the day, I used to rap too.
It's the V-I-V-E, not the wannabe, just an MC with outcast mentality. Taking no shortcuts, I'm cutting my own path, so don't compare me to the beasties from the past.
Joining me today is an old friend of mine and a great rapper himself, Chaotic Link. He's got the skills to pay the bills. And guess what? He's white.
Do you gotta go to jail or shot to be in hip-hop? Do some heavy drugs just to make it in rock? Be built like a jock just to make it in pop? Is it true you become famous only when your heart stops?
Also, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below. We really appreciate all your stuff, and let us know your top 5 too. We want to know what you're thinking. But without further ado, let's get right to it. Me and Chaotic Link with the top 5 white rappers of all time. All right, everybody, I am here with an old friend of mine, the great Chaotic Link. He is indeed a white rapper, or a rapper who happens to be white. How do you classify that? Like when people say you're a white rapper, do you take it as is it a compliment? Is it like a category you don't want to be in? Are you proud of it? Like, what do you feel? What goes through your mind when people say, "Oh, yeah, he's a white rapper"?
Well, it's stating the obvious, so you got to embrace the obvious, right? I can't hide who I am, right? You know,
right.
So, you know, you got no choice of how you were planted here. You have a choice on how you operate from how you run the marathon. So, you know, you see me, I'm not trying to hide and be something I'm not. So, you know, call what you will. You know, at the end of the day, I'm me. I'm not really identifying with color and all that. You know me from back in the day. So
yeah, man,
it's all good.
Yeah, man, and you've been doing this for a long time. You got in the game way back. I'd say what, in the 90s? You doing this?
Yeah. The earlier 90s for sure. I mean, I started rhyming in the 80s, trying to age myself a little bit, you know. Got serious about it in the 90s and hooked up with some people that we all know and had a brief run there, and then did my own solo thing, and did quite a bit with different genres using the hip hop, I would say, art within different genres and combining stuff. But yeah, I've been at it for a while.
Right on, man. And as we know, man, like being a hip hop head through the years when we were younger, we're about the same age. I'm probably maybe a little bit older than you, but we come from the same background. You're from CI, I'm from Brentwood, essentially. So we grew up around hip hop, and we've actually seen hip hop as its own musical genre grow and become a juggernaut and like the biggest music genre in America right now.
Before it was pop culture, yeah,
before it was pop culture, we were all there. You know, we all knew guys that would like EPMD and the Hit Squad. Yeah, we're both repping today. And these were guys that we grew up with. They were around the way, so we saw that it was real, and there wasn't any white rappers back then until the Beasties came out, and it was harder to get in back then if you were a white dude to be taken seriously. So when you came in the game, you were unique, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I was. I mean, and it wasn't just me. I mean, I started out with, you know, I guess the first group I really started out that got traction was when I was part of a all-white rap group called Caveman, and we were rolling and signed with K Solo. Shout out to the Hit Squad and all that back in the day. My boy Ray from CI, we go way back. He's still rhyming too, so he could be doing this interview also. I mean, it was a good little stint there. It was fun. I learned a lot about the ins and outs, what to do, what not to do, and learned enough to kind of do some things on my own as I broke into a solo career. But yeah, that was the earlier 90s for sure. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, man. And now I think it's a lot easier in a sense for a white guy to get out there and start a career in rap. And I think you just have to have skills. I think like guys like Eminem and Mac Miller kind of raised the bar on lyrics, being lyricists for the new cats coming out. But at the same time, I do think there's a lot more acceptance you know, for white MCs?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's a little bit easier right now because, you know, the game's been commercialized to a point where it's a product, right? And rap's always been a product, but it's been, again, it's pop culture now. So a lot of white MCs have an opportunity now because the platform's that much bigger, right? There's so many out there. Eminem said in one of his songs, right? You know, another million white rappers emerged, something to that extent, right. Which is true. And with social media and able to get your stuff out there quicker, you know, rap's a different, and hip hop's a different genre because it's a whole culture built around it, built on battling competition. Rock was never like that. Just play good music. It's just about the music, right? So there was an acceptance where we know where the hip hop culture started, African Bambaataa, Kool Herc, and all that. So if you were Caucasian, and me coming from a predominantly African American neighborhood, Latino neighborhood back in the day, like you, right? That's all I grew up with and knew when I was a kid. You know, I was like, darn, man, it's not cool to be white. It's not cool. So you know, back in the day, you know, it was a little bit harder to get noticed because you had to roll with the right people. But nowadays, it's a little bit easier to get yourself out there. And there's commercial acceptance, but still, it's you know, it's a hard industry no matter what color you are. You know, no matter.
True indeed.
At the end of the day, a dope MC is a dope MC.
Truth, man. That's what it is with any you know, expertise. Anything is it all begins with your talent. It's got to come from a real place and with art, and that's what I think separates the real guys from the fake dudes. And I'm just glad that Chaotic Lynk, that you through the years have not gotten a face tattoo. I'm pretty happy about that.
Nah, my whole grill's good.
There you go. Nice.
Nah, I'm still pretty. You know?
So we're gonna get right into this. This is our top fives of the best white rappers according to us. This is my top five according to me, your top five according to you, and then what we do is we combine our top fives to make a final top five for the show. If anybody's watching this and they don't agree with what we're saying, leave it in the comments, man. This is all good. We want to hear your top fives as well. If we forget a dude, like if I don't say Macklemore and this person on the other end thinking Macklemore belongs in the list, let us know. He's not on mine.
These are, we're assholes. These are our opinions. Everybody got one. You know, right?
Exactly, man. So we're gonna get right into this, man. I'm gonna let you go first, Chaotic Lynk. Who's your number 5 pick?
This is tough, man, because I you know, I'm gonna do the non-candy list. So it's gonna be the top 5 excluding Eminem for good reasons. Not that he's not dope, all that, you know, various reasons, right? Obvious to me, so not gonna be on my list. You know, I've gone through a lot of names here, and just there's so many people that have been out there. You got all different genres within hip hop. You know, guys from the South, Paul Wall. You're talking about A$AP Rock, and then the new guys like Jeezy, NF. It's big. I'm a New York guy. Golden era guy. I'm gonna stick with what is me, right? So I'm gonna rep Staten Island first, and I'm gonna come in with JoJo Pellegrini. For those who have not really rocked with JoJo, you know, the man he's dope. But it's smoke like the stars. You can see I'm done from his face. But the top tomato got the best fresh books you'll ever taste. You know, it was one of those guys that was on the brink a couple times, and the industry's the industry. There's a lot of people you hear out there that blow up with big commercial success, but they're the exception. He's a dope MC.
Right on, man. And when did you first discover JoJo Pellegrino? Because the Staten Island, they got a good rap game coming out of there too. Always did for like since the beginning, really, man.
Yeah.
And
I mean, early 2000s or late 90s. I can't really pinpoint it off the top of the head. I think one of the tracks that came out was "Forget About It" or something like that.
Yo, I spit bars, fiend to live large in big cars, mobbed out, battery rappers and get charged like, oh, forget about it. Pellegrino flow, don't ever doubt it.
Real Italian background. You know, I'm Italian myself, so some of the stuff's kind of cool. It's almost like a soprano rapper, right? but I mean, he's dope. I mean, I've seen a lot of his freestyles on TV. You know, he actually, I think, had a hand in, you know, bridging some of the communities there between him and Wu-Tang. He's down with, you know, Raekwon and all those guys. You know, he was signed with Violator. He was rolling with the big dogs in the business, and you know, he was just dope. And I mean, for a while there, I think one of the quotes, you know, Jay-Z say it was like money in the bank, right? He still is. He's still putting out. These guys, you look them up, they're still putting out jokes. It's fun. So.
They're still doing it. Jojo Pellegrino is still rocking it, doing his thing out there in Staten Island. And good stuff, man.
Rap game, gotta love it. Like dirty water Franks with lots of mustard. I'm nice even if I ain't got a budget. In Great Kills, we pop for comfort. Out in Stapleton's, the block is dusted. Mix the two of them. Watch how Mobster does it. Flow ugly as sin. When crunch time punchlines might catch you on some tuck in your chin. Great
number 5. My number 5 also kind of comes from where we grew up, how we grew up. They had a song out that when it first came out, it really affected me because I related to it a lot. It was product of the environment, and it was Third Base. And I would say that the rapper MC Search, more so, I love Pete Nice too, but MC Search kind of really was the first guy who I was like, oh snap, you could do that? They're from Far Rockaway, Queens. It's very similar to how we grew up in Brentwood. Maybe a little rougher, I don't even know, but Brentwood, CI, we know how those were pretty rough areas to grow up in, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But, you know, back in the day, man, you know, being a rap fan and everything else, and you got the Beastie Boys kind of repping, you know, white rappers, and I always loved them too, but they weren't real MCs to me. Like,
no,
not like
I couldn't agree more. I thought we'd have an argument on this. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, they're not like they came up through the punk rock era. They're more like punk rock guys that started rapping. When you see Search,
and it worked out.
Right, yeah.
No, they were the real deal.
Search was the real deal. His cadence, his flow, it had a bounce to it, you know. On the streets of Far Rockaway, Queens, Secret Boulevard, B17. And then it just was like, oh shit. Like, so to me, Search was that first dude where I kind of gravitated towards and kind of emulated his cadence a little bit. And I was young, but not that young. I might have been like maybe 19, 20 when that came out, when the Cactus first came out. So I would say at the number 5 spot for me, MC Search.
Petrol, you let go the wax for the new jacks to dwell upon and stepping on the trigger as the tune smash. Square in the butt. Pete gave me the cue, so I'ma put up a shut up until my jam is through.
Nice. I can't argue with that. We'll see what I talk about when we get up the list. MC Search is dope. You know, he's got a bunch of quotables, right? You know, from the song Back to the Grill Again, you know, he debuted Nas.
Debut, man.
This is Nas, kid, you know how it runs. I'm waving automatic guns at nuns. Sticking up the preachers in the church. I'm a stone crook, serial killer who works by the phone book.
And, you know, he says, you want to kill the Klan, shoot the fans at a tractor pull. What? Got crazy game, so nobody. I got crazy game. Nobody can stop me. But hey, yo, I'm white. I guess my game's hot, right?
Yeah.
You know, he was dope. He says, you know, gave you enough respect, but took it back as I was stingy. So he was just lyrically top.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Agreed.
All right. So, what's your number 4 pick?
So I'm sticking with the New York stuff here. I can't help it. Right? So. You know, coming up, you know, I met this dude, you know, there's some guys I've met in this business, of course, over the years. Wasn't close by any means, but definitely had some mutual connections. Again, really held down the underground, but ended up really getting some visibility later on in the 90s with Stretch and Barbito and those guys. And but he was getting on the radio and getting very well known for his battle skills from the 914 upstate. And then after a bunch of years of kind of dabbling with the strict hip hop, went a little bit different direction, a little bit alternative, but it was still hip hop, signed with Definitive Junks and had had a lot, I would say, pretty good successful career at that level. Music featured on soundtracks and things like that is Cage. Right?
Cage, yes.
That's going to be my number 4, and one can argue even back in the day he was on that Eminem stuff, you know, the popping pills, doing all that crazy stuff well before there was an Eminem, right? Now Eminem was around at that time too. We're not going to not be able to bring up his name, but Cage was getting that visibility in the New York scene pretty early in the 90s.
One last vein to poke, made it too dark to see. The scenery slipped and line up to go in the ground and leave us. So repeat this till I'm sick and I won't feed this to my little girl who kept me in this world to beat this.
Did Cage and Eminem have beef, didn't they, back in the early days? I feel like they were battling,
Yeah.
you know, because obviously when you're part of a genre that's already kind of growing, and then you're part of a subgenre and you're white rapper, you know, and then another white rapper comes up, it's automatic. Everybody wants to throw you in the ring. And
Yeah.
I feel like Eminem and Cage kind of went at it.
Yeah, I think there was some. I didn't follow it all that close, but
I heard some blind bitch walking through New York looking for Cage. I'll stab you in the face 10 times in the same place.
But no, Cage, he's been around for a while. He got his stuff together. He did songs with many different people. But there's a lot of people we can put on this list. But,
Yeah,
you know,
dude, Cage was rough. He was kind of like, you didn't want to mess with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had a little bit of fire under his rhymes.
I'm clinically diagnosed, so mimic close. Told somebody mine for supporting my drug habits when I'm out of dope. You want to see where the rabbit hole ends up? Pills for you and your meals. First, what's up with your girlfriend's guts? Weatherman associate, Worm King's more appropriate. Collapsed the mic, smoked out, time to soaking wet.
yeah, he did. I mean, but then when he got in a little bit older, I think past his 30s, you know, the stuff he was doing on LP's record label, you know, it was a little more almost like emo hip hop. You know, he's being honest with himself. You know, these are thoughts I keep from a child since 30 something till 30, something like that. You know, a little more conscious, right? Because he was wilding out when he was younger. But I like his conscious material better. As you get older, you want to see people mature with their music too. I'm not trying to hear the same nonsense I heard when I was a kid, right?
When I wake up in my skin like it should, nothing to regain, don't give a shit about your claims. If it rains, if the sun shines, if the bitch I fuck is any brains, lines of Cain.
Is Cage still out there doing it?
He is, as far as I know. Last few years, he's put out multiple albums. The one album that I really liked was Hell's Winter, right? And the track Hell's Winter. You know, if you have a chance, peep it, check it out. Pretty cool joints, right?
I'm trying to pick up the pieces, keep cutting my hands when I put it back together in pieces. In a permanent hell, I find tranquility teaches me how to design perfect master by new creatures.
So my number 4 is a guy that you know personally. And I saw the pictures, and but he's a Long Island dude. He's from like Stony Brook, Long Island. I met him one time when we were both young at WUSB radio show. He was on before me getting interviewed, and then we came in, got interviewed, and kind of crossed paths. And you know, if I would have known he was going to become an icon, man, of hip hop. But I am talking about the legendary R.A. the Rugged Man. Now, R.A. the Rugged Man is a dude who's still doing it, still fierce, still is better than ever. He hasn't peaked yet, man. This guy's still rocking. He's still like a rocket ship on the underground scene, putting out new records all the time. He's guest spots and cameos on people's records all the time. He's a dude that truly doesn't give a fuck about what you think, about what anybody thinks, and there's a freedom to that. There's a freedom to when you don't care if I offend you or if you're gonna cancel me. You know, there's a freedom to being able to shoot from the hip like he does.
Stealing your beat, never clearing, no sampling, panhandling. I'm despicable murderer like Bloody Bill Anderson. I spent my rent on hookers and gambling. Vanglorious, I'm Professor X, Brother J. Yeah, I'm X-planning them. The Reaper hanging out on my block begging to pay me to visit. Sometime death be on my front door like knock, knock, who is it?
He's kind of flows from real lowbrow material. Like he'll do a whole like freaking cipher about a woman having a period and some shit.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, and then he could turn it up and start talking politics and make sense about the ways of the world and stuff like that. He can get a little highbrow and mix it all up, and his sporadic, well thought out flow is just
rugged, that raggedy bastard. His breath stank like he gargling with battery acid. Who would have figured me to be deadly? They never be ready to bury me. Better be ready. Nobody better than me.
I mean, he can rhyme fast. He can rhyme slow. He's aggressive, and I just love the dude. In fact, when I was doing a couple of years ago, we were doing a short film called Change of Scenery about a rap group that was coming out of retirement, right? A white rap group coming out of retirement. And I emulated my character after all of our RA's like interviews. Like I was just like, you know, just trying to emulate his vibe.
Yeah.
Do you have a mental issue, Survive? Are you mental?
What are you trying to say, man?
And I got to ask that question. People want to know.
Oh man, fuck that, man. Yo, you just so you know, don't be going there, man. Okay. Because that shit could get fucking hairy, and we can get some kind of footage that you weren't expecting to get. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, he's dope, man.
I'll concur. That's my man. You know, from back in the day. You know, I used to be in the studio with him when he was recording his first album, when I was doing my solo stuff with one of my partners at the time, and we'd be freestyling in the studio. There was times where you know, we used to chill, you know, be at his house. I mean, we were cool like that back in the day. I was, you know, doing a lot of production then too, also rhyming. And I was, you know, showing him some beats and then showing him the stuff I recorded. He was like, yo, I like that beat. I already recorded on it. He's like, yo, can I get that? But you know, another white guy, you know what I mean? So, you know, I think he's always conscious of that. But, yeah, I've been at it, you know, he used to have crazy video shoots, you know, after his deal fell through with Jive and all that. Because he was known as Crustified Dibs, right? For real old school people, right? And then, you know, I'd be there at some of those filmings where he's, you know, he used to strip down the drawers, naked chicks dancing in the videos and stuff. And I'm in there with my CI jersey hanging out, you know. He was cool, you know, he still is cool, still putting out, I agree with you, absolute fire. Now, he's put out more conscious stuff, right? He's grown up too, man, you know, he's a family dude, right? Doing his thing. And, you know, things like on his new albums, the last two albums, he put out some really good conscious records, right? With that old, the singer Iman, he sang some R&B song that was funny back in the days. I forget the name off the top of my head. But he's done some good stuff that's not just wild out crazy, but his flow, ridiculous. And he's also doing this thing about bringing on some other artists that are out there. A young man named Afro is put on.
You know that the nine obliterated, the science meditated, the common divided, the rhyming line and the trying and the rhyme and the federated, to celebrate them, leave him in hospitals to die in oasis. Listen.
Dude's extremely talented and others, and he does local tours and stuff. And maybe I'll catch him out there on the road one day and say what's up. But we've traded messages once, twice in the last year. You know, I haven't kept the woman all the time. But yeah, I can't disagree with you. He's well respected by legends, right? From Cool G Rap to DJ Premier to people in Wu. I mean, if people do a little research, he goes way back.
Yeah, RA, and he's got the underground on lock. And sometimes I think that in certain genres, you want the respect of the underground peeps. That's where the real shit lives. That's where you want to be. The goal is to be respected in the underground and then pop into the mainstream, so this way you can make the money and all that. Yeah. But I think RA's doing fine. I think he lives in Germany now, and he's got a family, 2 kids. He does do more with the family stuff now. It's kind of crazy to see him grow up like that, because you know, he had his first record that got him kicked off Jive was, you know, record label suck dick.
Yeah, every record label sucks.
Yeah, every record label sucks dick. So he kind of, you know, fucked himself up in a way with the industry. But man, like we said, if you've got real skills, you're gonna have real longevity. And RA stood the test of time. He's still out there, still well respected. So God bless, man.
I've been a problem since my first birthday. In the delivery room, my dick hit the ground and it caused an earthquake. The school hallways I was pissing in. As a kid, I was lacking in discipline, ignoring authorities and never listening.
Who's your number 3?
Yeah, number 3 is our boy R.A. We're just going to continue the conversation. New York, Long Island. Again, a guy could easily fit that Eminem bit by being the guy like, oh, that's that white guy in hip hop that's really tearing it down. You know, he could have had that commercial success, right? Especially when he was younger with the crazier flow.
I'm at peace with myself now, how about that? I hated life, I wanted to die a few years back. I was mentally ill, it's hard to come back from that. But I got through it, now I got my sanity back.
Definitely number 3, from my point of view. Just not the huge commercial success, but again, as far as skills, you know, he's match him up against anybody, right? I mean, he's a great artist, performs his heart out live, and has that respect. I mean, he did a song with Big before Big blew up, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the kind of pedigree, you know, that he came from, and you know, plus I know the dude for a long time, and you know, he's no denying how dope he is.
It's funny. Number 3. Yeah, man, and great. I mean, obviously, love R.A. And it's funny too, because if you take R.A. and put him up against Eminem, right, and then you say, okay, both of these guys have enormous genius skill set, but why did one dude blow up and the other? Is it because R.A. was so gritty and fuck you and didn't give a shit, and then Eminem, I don't know, because Eminem didn't give a shit either. So I don't know.
It's all timing, man. You can't control the macroeconomics of it, right?
Right, yeah.
Do you, like, let me be great at my craft. You can't control on how it's being absorbed, or the people in political power within a record label is going to market and promote you and all that. You can only control you and do you. I've learned that, right? So I'm not trying to be like nobody, neither of those 2 cats, but it's just timing. And all those things got to line up. Those stars got to line up, you know. And I think that's how it happened. I mean, and you know, let's face it, R.A. not a good-looking dude. He'll tell you. Right? You know, Eminem look like a Backstreet Boy. Right? Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, what's gonna sell records? The girls like, oh, Eminem. You know, they're gonna look at R.A. and be like, I ain't getting near that heavy fat man.
Man's eating ice cream, people see that, people don't believe that. This freestyle kick, I kick with the rap, but now we pass the rock bottom. People see that I'm not wide like a scrotum.
Yeah, it's all timing. I you know, having Dr. Dre produce your shit doesn't hurt either. But look, man, both dudes are dope as fuck, man. I can't. Both guys are legends.
This the guy that shows his ass on stage with dirty underwears and shit. That was wild, though. That's the thing. I was wild.
What, you were jacking off the balcony onto people below? What was that all about?
R.A. is hardcore.
I was a little kid, and I jerked off on the balcony, and I said, fuck this part. And so I drunk cum on the people.
So my number 3 is another New York dude.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy's from Queens. He started his career, basically, he was like a cook. And then one day he slipped and broke his leg. And then because he broke his leg and couldn't go to work anymore, he started rhyming and finding his voice. And this is Action Bronson.
Nice. You know, I was toying around with that name. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Action Bronson. I love his flow, his demeanor. He's got like a laid back kind of vibe, but yet aggressive at the same time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily think he's would be a battle rapper, but he could still diss you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think he's got a shit ton of charisma and a unique take of life as a whole. And he's really like, and he's a foodie guy. He's just, you know, he's got a long beard, he's fat, and then he'll tell you how gorgeous he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of confidence, man.
Hey, yo, she bent over in the mirror taking pictures. Crew a bunch of dykes and some Puerto Rican strippers. From Ridgewood, she did a thing just like a bitch should. But in the morning started burning, I can't piss good.
So I respect Action Bronson on many levels, but I do love his music. I think he's a dope MC, and he's my number 3.
No arguments on that. I mean, what do you say? What's being served tonight? Something like white snake and underwear sauce or some shit like that.
That's me, and you can order whatever. The specialty is white snake and underwear sauce.
You know, his tracks with Rare Chandeliers, and he's dope. I mean, one of the knocks on him is that if you put on his record and throw on old Ghostface, you would think you almost listen to the same guy, right?
Right, yeah.
A little this, a little that, little bit of everything. Had a little beef with Fat Cat.
Same voice, similar flow, not same voice, but a lot of similarities, let's just say. But he's dope. He pulls it off. I always liked his production too. With some of the guitar-driven tracks in the background and stuff. Yeah, I'm a fan. I think he's dope. I mean, I don't own a bunch of his stuff or anything, but I've heard a bunch of it. He really knocked it out of the park in the underground scene too. And then he ended up, hooking up with big time producers for his first record, and did a feature with, I had Chance the Rapper featured on his first single.
Yeah.
And it was produced by Mark Ronson, who's, done everything from every single pop or hip hop star is just huge, right? So good for him. And now he's like working out and getting healthy and stuff.
Yeah, starting to get back in shape. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, he's dope.
Yeah, and like with the Ghostface thing, Ghostface actually called him out on that, man. There's a
I
video.
know.
Yeah, and
I saw that.
because Action was getting a lot of heat from that, so he was on like a talk show or a sports show, and they said something to him about Ghostface, and he's like, I'm better than him or something like that.
The first time I heard you, I was like, yo, Ghost got some new stuff. Then I found out it was Action Bronson, but I'll tell you the truth, I bought the record right then.
Right.
Yep.
He's not rapping like this no more.
Whoa,
Was that a shot at the Ghost? No. Oh, just being honest.
Don't say that.
You don't say that.
Don't say that.
No, man. And Ghostface came right up to him in the parking lot, man, and called him out. And Action. It was the first time you see Action portray himself as a certain way, and then all of a sudden you see him when he's surrounded by a bunch of dudes.
Yeah. I get it, man. That's fun stuff. But
man.
Nah, it's a great choice, man. That's another good one.
But I do love Action.
Almost made my list.
Yeah, man. I love Action Bronson. I love Ghostface Killer too. But Action is my number 3. So now we're at number 2 here.
Yeah.
Already. Who's your number 2?
So, I'm going to take somebody you had down toward the bottom of the list, and I'm going to bump him to number 2, because I think as a lyricist, what he's done for the game, he was one of the first, Caucasian guys that came in to hip hop and sounded hip hop, right? Like he can rhyme with any brother out there, for instance, right? I think he was accepted like that also. And that's the MC Search. Right?
Hell yeah.
Search was dope. I think he's underrated. I think his production on his first solo album, live musicians and all that, he was ahead of his time in '92, right? And I don't think that he got the credit he deserved for what he did record-wise. Live bass, live drums on some stuff. People weren't doing that at the time. And then lyrically on top, flow, I just, some of his punchlines, he was just all around dope. He's still dope.
B-boy decoys will try to deploy the troops in black hoods and black boots. Caps get rocked only when they're fitted. Lyrics get dropped only when they're lifted.
He's still dope. He's still out there he's still doing a lot for hip hop. He had his label Searchlight Records, signed a lot of dudes on that. He discovered Nas. Yep. But also with Search too, like you said, it seems I wouldn't say he's forgotten, but he's not in the conversation where he should be. Like, you hear a lot about, when people start talking about white rap, it's always Eminem. You'll hear Mac Miller. You hear, these guys. You hear Vanilla Ice. You'll hear Macklemore. You'll hear Little Dicky, Tom McDonald, Jack Harlow. But you don't hear Search. And to me, Search was a freaking groundbreaker, man.
I totally agree.
Search, like we said earlier, like
he was a street corner cipher rhymer. You could see him in it all day.
For real, dude. He's
not a commercial dude. Get him on the corner in Far Rockaway, Reverend Queens. He'd be there with brothers doing it.
He was rapping no matter what. He was rapping whether he's signed, not signed. It's in his heart. That's who he truly is.
He was authentic, man. It wasn't not commercialized, not trying to make records like to be pop success. You know, the Eminem song, Pop Goes the Weasel and all that. It was real good. Real
Dude,
good.
man, like he's the epitome when they say, you know, white guys who rap versus white rappers. You know, Search is he's a white guy who raps. And he was going to be, and hip hop is in his blood, it's in his soul, it's who he is. And he was going to be doing it no matter what. And he was definitely, to me, look, I love Pete Nice too. I love Third Base as a whole. And you know what I'm saying? Like they changed shit for me as a hip hop fan, as a white dude. You know, I was like, you could, what?
Yeah.
The hair?
Wait, I could actually maybe do this.
Yeah, he had the high top fade. He had shit in his head.
He had the hair done the same way. I was like, I can't imagine. Now I got the Onyx look, man.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I just, you know, but yeah, I mean, here it comes. I mean, set it all. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
It was dope. It was dope. Back to the Grill, love that record.
Back to the grill again. The grill again. Yeah. Back to the grill again. The grill again. Back to the grill again. The grill again. We gonna try it like this though.
Back to the grill again.
He had the tightest verse on that record.
Yeah, man.
It's dope.
Dude, he was dope. His cadence, his flow, like I said, man, and it inspired me because he's not on my list, and you know he's on my top 10 list, but Everlast too. So I always looked at myself coming up as it was. MC Search gave me the kind of the flow and the cadence and all that. And then I wanted to have that edge, like that Everlast had, that kind of like, don't fuck with me, I'll smash a bottle over your head.
Eric Shody.
Yeah.
Boom, shalat, lock, boom. All right now. Boom, shalat, lock, boom. Boom, shalat, lock, boom. Everybody. Boom, shalat, lock, boom. All right now.
But yeah, no, MC Search definitely deserves to be number 2. I just kickstarted him off at number 5, but all these dudes.
No, it's we on the same page with a few of these guys.
Yeah.
Shock.
Yeah, I know, right? My number 2, I kind of went for us a little bit more modern, even though it's not modern. I guess it's middle from where if we started in the 80s and 90s, this guy came up through the 2000s, I'd say.
Okay.
He's from Pittsburgh, and this is Mac Miller.
Mac Miller, yeah.
So Mac Miller, I'm not so much the early Mac Miller. I didn't mind the early Mac Miller, but I didn't like him. He didn't have likability to me.
Yeah.
But as he got older and started to evolve, I started to like him as a person, from what I knew of him. And then also I started to respect him more as an MC and as a lyricist. And he had this kind of effortless flow, the style of rhyming, especially if you see him freestyle, where he makes it look easy almost, like it's just boom, he's just killing it.
Who's hot? I moonwalk the jungle gym. Do not try to stop, cause you not gon' fuck with him. I'm rumbling with countrymen, do it for the USA. First you get the money, then the fame, then you get paid. Ale boombaye, come with superhuman strength. All this for the music's sake, but I'm getting stupid paid. Get a head or lose a leg, never did the funeral fake. To be great, you away. Everybody let's eat cake.
And then he also had this kind of jazzy style, but he could also rhyme trap if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
I do not lie, though facts may seem a little far-fetched. That's only cause I maybe make believe and full of darkness when I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place.
And again, like these numbers of 5, 4, 3, 2, they're all mixed and matched.
It's all debatable.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, I put Mac Miller up there, man.
Oh, cool.
What do you think about Mac?
I mean, I've listened to some of his songs. You know, I got kids and sons that followed his career. There's a couple joints that I liked. Actually, 1 or 2, I was like, oh, that's actually really quality stuff. I didn't follow him too closely, but yeah, no, I think he was dope for sure as far as a newer school Caucasian guy who rhymes, right?
Right, yeah.
You know, in this genre. So yeah, no, I could see the appeal for sure. And you know, and the skills are undeniable, right? So.
I know I probably need to do better. Fuck whoever, keep my shit together. You never told me being rich was so lonely.
Okay, so so far we have Jojo Pellegrino.
Yeah.
We have MC Search. Is both of us agree on MC Search? So
Yeah.
he might get fast tracked right into the main list. We have Cage, R.A. the Rugged Man, Action Bronson. Oh, and R.A. the Rugged Man we both agreed on also.
Yeah.
And then Action Bronson and Mac Miller. So now, Chaotic Link, who is your number one?
Drum roll. All right, so my number one, I think, is somebody who ended up getting not only hip hop respect first, but set the tone, right, of what a white MC could be. In the grand scheme of things, not just being respected as a lyricist and a rhymer, but he had the tools. Not only did he have flow, not only did he have lyrics, right? Not only was he part of, you know, hip hop collectives that are legendary and had large commercial success, but his voice and the delivery was undeniable. And then beyond that, is even more impressive to me, right? As I like to dabble in other genres and stuff, how he blew up, totally changing his game. So one of your top 10 and my number one, his name is Eminem. Right?
Yes.
That guy, just still to this day, I'm a huge fan. Whitey Ford sings the blues, all that other stuff he's done. You know, when you go from touring with Cypress Hill and then you opening for Lenny Kravitz, dude, it's over.
Yeah.
All right, and doing a different genre and still being able to carry on your rap shit, come on. And you go head to head battling with Eminem and take the big boy route, undeniable. I went to a show with my wife back in the day. He did a gig at Irving Plaza doing his Whitey Ford Sing the Blues tour, whatever it was. And I tried to get on stage with him, right? I had him sign and said, yo, I saw my soul to freestyle, whatever it was. He won't let me up there. But, you know, he's dope.
I don't need MTV to make no buzz. The rock style there to make you say, oh, that was.
You know, I liked House of Pain. I like his solo stuff. As a rhymer, the stuff he's done with La Coca Nostra and all that other stuff is cool. But he's always been a dope MC. I think he's a true MC, and he's so much more versatile. Forget MC, musician, right? Dude's an ill guitar player, writes ill songs. I mean, he goes beyond hip hop, but I think he set the tone. Even Eminem gave him props, right? It's like, you know, stuff, I was into it.
I came to get down, So get out your seat, everybody. Jump around.
Every damn sports event, who doesn't jump around?
Dude, jump around. You know, I was a sports DJ for years. I DJ'd the NFL, DJ'd the NHL. Jump around was a staple, and we played it all the time. Also, you know, like you said, Everlast is the dude. I was gonna have him on my list, but I had a feeling you were gonna pop him on there, so that's why I held back. I was trying to keep some holes in there.
I'm safe.
Yeah, because Everlast is the dude, man. Look, when I was young, again, you had Search and you had Everlast, but Everlast was the badass dude, man. He was the guy with edge. He's the guy you didn't want to mess with, and it still carried through to now. Like, you know, he's just kind of like this. He's all gray beard and shit. He just rocks out. He's
all grungy.
All grungy. You know, he's got the voice.
I mean, he covered Johnny Cash, man. He did Folsom Prison and pulled it off.
When I was just a baby, Mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't never play with gun. But I shot man in Reno just to watch him die.
Dude, Everlast is that dude, bro. He could, like you say, cross genres and everybody respects him and loves him. He changed his name, Whitey Ford. Who does that when you have a hit, like your name is known as Everlast, and you say, hey, you know what, I'm done with that. I'm going to be Whitey Ford and do this shit, and then still
hit the reset button.
Yeah, he definitely did. Now, Everlast is definitely one of the GOATs in one of the icons in hip hop history, let alone white rappers.
I agree.
Yeah, man, and he to me he put that whole Boston Irish thing, you know, on the map, made it cool for the Irish kids, and you know, and then that inspired. I remember back then, I forget, there was like an all Italian rap group too, like these guys. I forget what they had. They came out.
The Lords of Brooklyn.
Yeah, those dudes. I think. Yeah.
They still around.
Yeah, damn, good. Yeah. And remember the YBT, Young Black Teenagers?
Oh yeah, tap the bottle, twist the cap.
So tap the bottle and twist the cap. Come on, tap the bottle and twist the cap. Yeah, tap the bottle and twist the cap. And pass it around the crew because the movie all that.
Yeah, that song's still good though. But I think so. It was a bunch of white kids, like its own Wu-Tang Clan type of group, but they were all white, and then they called themselves Young Black Teenagers. And I think it was cool, but also I think if they had a different name, they might have lasted longer.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot. Then they were put on by Professor X from PE, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. I forget who it was. Somebody in Public Enemy. I'm getting old. My memory's gone. But yeah, I mean, just that with the name, it's like,
right,
marketing and promotion. But yeah, it was a great song.
My number one, I had to. He's the GOAT, man. I'm sorry, Eminem. He's the greatest, dude. Like, look, man, at first when Eminem, so there's two reasons. When I used to rhyme as well back in the day. I was part of a clique called the Burnt Clique out of Brentwood. I don't know if you remember Jazz and Esson and all those dudes, and we used to rhyme out of Bayshore. And I was like the token white dude. And so the first time I quit rhyming was before them, was when Vanilla Ice came out and then first he was a hit. Everybody, Ice Ice Baby was number one song. That people don't realize how
a great tune.
Yeah, it still stands up. It's still fun.
Great tune.
But people don't realize how big that song was. Like people now, like younger people, they just know him as like this punchline, right? But then he became a punchline because he just who he is, just how he acted in interviews and shit.
Ours goes ding 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 diggy ding 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 diggy ding ding. That little bitty change. It's not the same.
So then when the backlash on Vanilla Ice was so hard, it was very difficult being a white rapper without being called Vanilla Ice, and so I kind of stopped rhyming for a minute. Then when I get back in, it's like in the 90s, and I'm doing my thing. I'm part of the Burnt Clique. I'm doing my thing. All of a sudden, Eminem comes out, and he raised the bar. So where Vanilla Ice lowered the bar, this dude raised the bar so high where I felt like if you were a white rapper, you were held to that standard. You had to be like a lyrical genius,
Lose yourself in the music, the moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss a chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself.
It didn't make me like it's not like I heard Eminem and dropped out the next day. It kind of was like, I kept at it for a little while and then kind of phased out, being like, yo, man, it got away from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but
go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's a juggernaut, man. He was a juggernaut from day one.
Oh yeah.
I
agree. I won't argue with any of that, right? It's just that he's usually people's defaults number one. It's a matter of tasting what you into, right? Now his wordplay off the charts, right? His delivery, his flow, he can get down with any track. His content, that's where to me, Eminem was a talented Beastie Boy. Now, I'm not dissing him at all. What I'm saying is he kind of went with that crazy white guy thing that seemed to be pretty good, had its own niche, right? Talk about things that other rappers don't talk about in hip hop, right? He wasn't that kind of MC Search lyrical guy in that way, right? Or even Everlast at that point. Now, lyrically, battle rhyme, he can go all day and night. He's great. It just matters your personal preference, right? I mean, I think he's one of the greatest for sure. He'll always be known that, is my opinion, right? But I wasn't as huge on the Eminem bandwagon as maybe others. Now, me coming up at the time doing what I was doing, I had the same issue where, I still get it today. Oh, Eminem. I'm like, yeah, I'm an old man like him, you know. You know, back in the day, I was like, yeah, nah. I mean, I just did my own thing, right? You know, which is totally different than what Em was doing. He had that shock value. Let me give you that shock value.
It's only fair to warn, I was born with a set of horns and metaphors attached to my dang umbilical cord. Warlord of rap that'll bash you with a 2x4 board and smash into your Honda Accord with a 4-door Ford.
It's just a little different than what I was kind of into, you know, for the most part. You know, like, again, the shock value is cool. Different personas, yeah, definitely had that. You know, but his voice, for instance, you know, I'm a voice guy. I'm a huge DMX fan, right? You know, I love that delivery, that power, that undeniable power. That's why I like that Everlast vibe. You know, his voice is a little more up, you know, higher pitched,
like
just
whiny
that,
too.
So it doesn't really kill me all the time, as far as like, yeah, I can bump that, but there's no denying. It's just the personal. You know, record sales tell you that, you know, the dude's incredible, and he is too. I mean, lyrically, his wordplay is ridiculous.
I need a towel, sweat leaks from my brow. It's burning my eyes, my cerebral is foul. Cause shit I'm thinking about should be illegal. I need my head banned.
But now we got to take this list that we have and break it down to 5. So we have JoJo Pellegrino, MC Search, Cage, R.A. the Rugged Man, Action Bronson, Mac Miller, Everlast, and Eminem. So now, who? This is when it gets tough, man. So we know already. We could say we agree on RA and Search.
Yeah.
So RA and Search are in. So let's just, for now, we won't give them a number. We'll just say they're there. So who should we take out? Who else? Who do you think we should take out?
So you want me to tell you which one I think you should throw off the boat, or you want me to throw one of mine off the boat?
No, anyone, anybody you think.
You know, I mean, personally, I'm not seeing the appeal with Mac Miller as compared to the other ones that are on the list, and that's probably my New York bias by all means. But you know, that's just my take. When I stack Mac Miller up against just the legacy and the length of product that folks have put out, even Cage, and you know, one can argue Pellegrino, you know, everything he's done from, you know, he's done songs with R.A. and Smut Peddlers and all these guys. I mean, you know, that's just my take, but you know, that was my first, that's the first shot over the bow.
If we took out Mac Miller, that leaves us with Eminem, Everlast, Cage, and JoJo Pellegrino.
Yeah.
So, see, for me, I see Mac Miller is more relevant than Action Bronson, though. So
I agree with that.
So I could see. So let's take Action Bronson completely out, since we both agree on that.
I think I agree with that.
So Action.
It's I could go either way, but I think
I think Mac Miller might pound for pound be more important, if that makes any sense in the grand scheme of things, or just has just a better MC.
Now, if I had to pick and choose who I'd listen to, I'm gonna probably listen to Action Bronson before Mac Miller. Yeah. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
But I could see, you know, depending on the criteria for judgment, which is again opinions. You know, I'm a team player.
So all right, so Action's out for now. We'll keep Mac kind of in limbo because I see your point. So now let's just go through this. Let's do it this way. So Eminem, does he belong on the top 5 list? I know you didn't.
Who's that?
Eminem. So do you see M?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna take him off. Yeah, I can't take him off. Okay, I wanted you to come with that name. It wasn't gonna be me.
Yeah. So I think it's fair to say, because I did the same thing with Everlast. I held out. I wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got Everlast and M are gonna be it. So right now, our 4 guys is this. We have 4 so far, 5.
Right.
We have Everlast, Eminem, R.A., and Search.
Yeah.
Really solid 4 right there.
Yeah.
So now the dudes we have to decide on is JoJo Pellegrino, Cage, and Mac Miller. So this is when it gets a little bit tougher now, because now whoever we pick out of this group or take away, you know, this is it.
There's only 1 out of 3 gonna make it.
Yeah, 1 out of these 3. So, I don't know what. So you already don't like Mac Miller. You think Mac Miller should be exited? Pellegrino versus Cage. So let's walk through those 2 guys. If you had to pick between those 2.
Oh man, that ain't right. So just by default, right? JoJo was my 5, right?
Yeah,
Cage was my 4. So I guess that's the answer.
Right,
but it could easily be flipped, though. You know what I mean? I think Joe, again, his flow ridiculous. Lyrically, again, he's that hip hop dude. Cage kind of crossed over to a little bit of alternative hip hop, but then again, he's got a catalog that is, dope.
So who you thinking? I'm leaning towards Cage.
Yep, me too. So
our list right now, and then we still have to figure out who you want as number 1. Because for me, it's always 5 through 2. It could be intermingled, but the number 1 should be the number 1.
Yeah.
So right now, our top 5 is this: we have Everlast,
right,
Cage, Eminem, R.A. the Rugged Man, and MC Search.
Yeah.
So out of those, this is a great 5, by the way, of 5 great hip hop icons, white rappers who happen to be white. However you want to put it, this is the 5, and this is a good list.
Yeah.
So who deserves to be number 1 on here, man?
Go ahead.
I'm saying, like, because of our conversation, everything we talked about, and kind of going in depth on each of these dudes, and what these guys meant to us. Because remember, this is our list. This isn't Rolling Stone magazine list. This is us.
Whoever watched this, whatever.
Right. Yeah, give us your top 5. Yeah,
film your own show.
Exactly. I'm thinking MC Search, dude.
I can see the argument for that. If I had to choose between MC Search and Eminem, I would say it's Search. I'd still argue Everlast is number 1. But I can't deny that one. You know what I mean? But I think that's a hard one to choose, because I think at the end of the day, you look at it for the people who just going in, it's got to be Eminem, right? It's Eminem.
Right, yeah.
It's a given. It's a given. Why are we even talking about it? It's a non-conversation, right? Eminem on top, then who's really number 2, right?
Right.
So, I
think if you remember when we were young, coming up, and it was in the late 80s or whatever, I feel like MC Search, like Third Base and House of Pain came out about the same time period. They must have. I think maybe Third Base was first. I forget. I don't know
who. They were. Yeah.
But they both came out, and they were both like, holy, like one had, like, both of them had ridiculous like flows and styles, but one to me was more kind of fun and more like hip hop. The other one, they're both hip hop, but I think I know what I'm trying to say. The other one was a little more hard and more like, pack it up, pack it in.
Everlast came off a little more grungy, right? And Search was just that laid back. He had that hip hop, but he had that delivery. He had the lyrics, and you get down like brand Nubian type stuff.
Yeah.
He was very, very versatile. He was just a dope MC. So you gonna flag him number 1?
I'm thinking, is that we agree on that?
I mean, if it's a joint list, I compromise, So yeah, I'm okay with that number 1. He was my number 2, right? So.
Right. And he was my number 5, but you convinced me to bring him all the way up. 'Cause I always loved MC Search, but it's funny when you start talking and you start going through it, you start to realize things, and that, like, Search to me, hey man, he meant something to me and you. Imagine how many other kids that were inspired and influenced by him through, what I'm saying, and started rap careers and whatnot. So I'm thinking, if it was me, I'd have Search at 1, Everlast at 2, then I'd have this is tough too, but I'd put R.A. at 3, M at 4, and then Cage at 5. That would be mine.
All right.
It ain't easy, man. They're all dope and like, you know what I'm saying?
No, it ain't easy, but I'm okay with that list. Yeah, I'm okay with that list. I mean, Search is number 1, Everlast number 2. To me, they're interchangeable. You know, RA, you know, some folks would argue number 1, right? Of course, but dope. And again, we're trying to, me personally, trying to give some shine to MCs that maybe, you know, people who are only passerby listeners or, you know anything, that there's hundreds of, you know, Caucasian dudes who rhyme or damn good at it.
Right.
We can talk about a lot of them. You know, no disrespect to any of them by any means.
Right. No,
but,
yeah, for sure.
But you know, these folks were instrumental in setting the foundation, let's just say.
Right on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I'm good with the list.
Great list, man.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I'm glad you reached out. I was looking forward to discussing my opinions.
Yeah, man, this is great. This is awesome. You rocked it, and now let people know where they could catch you, where they could listen to your music, and check you out and follow you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. You know, I got a Facebook page. You know, just look up CL. You know, AKA Chaotic Lynk, which is CHAOTICLYNK. Been out there for some years. Search YouTube. Put out a couple albums in Asia on a Japan record label. Been featured on another 20 plus albums out there in Asia with other artists and producers. So, you know, the music's for sale on any type of website, you know, out in Asia. Then also you can find it up on Bandcamp too locally if you just wanted to download it from a US site. But, you know, yeah, got some music out there that I've put out with over the years. It's been fun independently, and then also through Goon Tracks, is a Japanese label that's put out some real good quality hip hop. And there's other Caucasian rhymers that featured on that label. One of my boys, Jace Mace, who's part of the group 49ers. Dude's dope. Him and I have done some records together, and there's some others also. So yeah, I've been fortunate to have opportunity to get my music out there to the masses and sell some units and build a fan base out there, and it's cool. Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, you rock, dude. You're awesome. Always been a fan. Remember seeing you at the Warped Tour all the years ago. That was dope. And,
yeah. Did some shows back then. Those were fun. All the radio performances back in the day, and also stages out in Long Island there. Out at we used to be the Vanderbilt. Fun place to play.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, good stuff, man. For sure. It's always a pleasure, Don.
Yeah, it's always great talking to you. Hopefully I talk to you again next 4th of July. Hopefully before then, though. We got to do this more often.
Yeah, we're on a yearly routine. You know?
Well, there you have it, folks. That's the top 5 white rappers of all time that me and Chaotic Lynk came up with. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and what your top 5 is. We'd love to hear it, and we'll see you again next week, folks.